Hi everyone, welcome to the Fantasia FIC studio. Today we will see what if Naruto became Hokage overnight. A ninja's meteoric rise. In the Hokage constructing, Ryan, sitting inside the Hokage's seat, was presently experiencing a headache. He checked out the data scattered in front of him, specifically concerning the Mist Shinobi, Rock Shinobi, and Cloud Shinobi who have been preparing to make their actions. The begin of the third ninja conflict became drawing nearer. After being transmigrated into the sector of Naruto and gaining various skills, Ryan had been working towards ninjutsu, honing his talents, studying from Tsunade, and saving Uzumaki Kushina. He had additionally secretly made plans and located himself as the Hokage in anticipation of the Third Shinobi War. Despite the fact that Ryan's power had reached the height of the Kage stage, it wasn't enough when in comparison to the ambitious beings that might appear within the later degrees of Naruto. Able to destroying the ninja world, even along with his high Kage stage energy, the imminent one-third ninja struggle couldn't be ended. Ryan had completed his modern-day strength without dishonest, making him a benchmark amongst transmigrators. Simply, as he became brooding about a way to address the one-third ninja warfare. A ding sound interrupted his mind. Ding! First Hokage Senju Hashirama joined the organization chat. Second Hokage Senju Tobarama joined the institution chat. 5th Hokage Tsunade joined the organization chat. A series of inexplicable mechanical sounds resounded in Ryan's thoughts, as he was nonetheless managing a headache. A vivid rainbow-colored mild appeared earlier than his eyes. After looking forward to so long, the cheat had ultimately arrived. Ryan, nonetheless sitting in the Hokage's office, saw a flash of mild. In an instant, he observed himself in an extensive white global on this international. A large convention table reminiscent of the Knights of the Round Desk stood before him. Welcome to the Konoha Hokage Chat Institution. A message regarded. Inside this chat group, members ought to alternate information, intelligence, and substances to offer global assistance for participants. Ryan, as the institution owner, had been automatically selected as the leader. The message persisted, declaring that the institution wished as a minimum 5 individuals to open the arena leaderboard characteristic and 10 participants to activate the mode of conquering other worlds. As the group chief, Ryan had the power to ask, name conferences, and do away with members. Information. The nature of the cheat. Ryan has compared it to the chat agencies he had studied approximately in fanfics, which have been generally constrained to a particular global. However, this cheat had a method for conquering the other worlds which intrigued him. Regardless of now not being precisely similar to the chat agencies he had examined approximately, it became nevertheless brilliant. Ryan found out that the organization individuals on this chat institution had special backgrounds in comparison to those in different chat businesses he had encountered. Right here, only the Hokages of Konoha were accumulated, and within the future, they may be part of forces to conquer different worlds. The simplest regret Ryan had turned into that the cheat had come too late. He had already ended up the Hokage himself, observing the digital screen in front of him. Ryan glanced on the modern listing of group contributors. 4th Hokage, Ryan, Group Leader. 1st Hokage, Senju Hashirama, Institution Member. 2D Hokage, Senju Tobarama, Group Member. 5th Hokage, Senju Tsunade, Organization Member. Notably, 3 Hokages have been pulled into the institution, all of them belonging to the Senju extended family. However, Ryan notioned it might be exciting to update Tsunade with the one-third Hokage, Sarutobi Hiruzen. He anticipated the response of the primary and 2D Hokages once they found out that their accurate apprentices had wiped out the Senju clan, given Tobarama's mood. It turned into probable that he might be very furious. Searching at the invitation button for brand spanking new organization participants, Ryan noticed that it changed into nevertheless inactive. Final a stupid gray color. He couldn't maintain pulling human beings into the chat organization at the moment. It regarded he might have to wait till the subsequent assembly to spark off the sector leaderboard feature. Having grasped the idea of the cheat, Ryan pressed the button to initiate the meeting. The gadget beeped, and a gate of mild instantly seemed in the area. Inside the Konoha village Shinja residence, in the residence, the first Hokage, Shinja Hashirama, became lying weakly on a mattress. Uzumaki Mito, accountable for taking care of him, and Shinja Tobarama, who had come to go to, had been present. Ahem, cough. What's been happening within the village recently? Hashirama asked, his vulnerable voice full of issue. Tobarama, looking at Hashirama's weakened nation, spoke back. Don't worry, approximately the village. Big brother, your fitness is the maximum crucial aspect now. Different villages are probably listening to your health as properly if your circumstance worsens. The ninja world may additionally descend into chaos again. Listening to Tobarama's response, Hashirama could not help but have a look at his ailing frame. Feeling helpless, after his warfare with Madara, his fitness had gradually declined, and time turned into strolling out for him. The thought crossed his thoughts that Tobarama turned into right. As soon as he exceeded away, the ninja global would likely be thrown into turmoil once more. Simply as Hashirama became approximately to speak to Tobarama, he unexpectedly heard a mechanical notification in his thoughts. You have joined the Konoha Hokage chat organization. The group proprietor, Ryan, has known as for a round desk assembly. Please attend on time. Amazed by way of the voice in his head, Hashirama seemed across the room, looking for any symptoms of uncommon pastime. Seeing nothing out of the ordinary, he grew to become to Mito and Tobarama and requested if they had heard something. However, each Mito and Tobarama shook their heads, indicating that they hadn't heard something. Perceiving no chakra fluctuations or signs and symptoms of Jinjutsu, Hashirama centered on the skinny screen in the front of him that displayed the message Hokage chat organization. He pondered the situation and decided to wait the assembly. In his final moments of existence, Hashirama amassed his remaining power and said, "Count me in!" As quickly as he spoke the one's words, colorful rays of light enveloped him, transporting him to the place of the assembly within the another universe. It's almost over. This battle will come to and give up after the legit alliance with Hokage in a month's time, said the second Hokage Shinja Tobarama inside the Hokage building. As he looked at the good information in his hand, he let loose a sigh of relief. This news changed into signaling the give-up of the primary shinobi battle after many years. Sarutobi Hiruzen and others inside the room also expressed their pleasure upon hearing the second Hokage's words. Truly? This is ideal news, exclaimed one of them. Yeah, it is sooner or later over, added any other, ever, because the loss of life of the first Hokage. Other international locations had been eyeing Konoha and launched surprising assaults after Shinja Hashirama's passing. Previously, that they had restricted themselves due to Hashirama's presence. But without him, they took the opportunity to wage conflict against Konoha. Cloud Shinobi Village and the U.S. of Thunder had been the primary to assault, and below the leadership of 2D Hokage Shinja Tobarama, Konoha's elite shinobi stood against the entire shinobi world on the battlefield, even as additionally preserving their village's background. Sarutobi Hiruzen, Danzo, and Uchiha Kagami had also grown hastily all through this time. Just as every person breathed a sigh of relief, Danzo raised a situation. Instructor, although we're going to shape an alliance with Hokage, the alliance is taking vicinity within the Land of Thunder. We have to exercise caution. Listening to Danzo's words, Shinja Tobarama nodded in agreement, but being the fastest shinobi in the ninja world, he believed he could take care of any emergency that would stand up. Ha! Don't worry, he reassured them. Each ninja village has depleted its sources during the last few years. The substances in every village are not enough to persevered preventing. Danzo fell silent after listening to his reaction, simply as Shinja Tobarama became approximately to talk further. A mechanical set-off unexpectedly sounded in Tobarama's mind. Ding! You have joined the Konoha Hokage chat group. Group owner Ryan has called for a round-table meeting. Please attend on time. Senju. Tobarama changed into right away alerted via the surprising beep. Regardless of the struggle having ended, he remained cautious, understanding that many shinobi from different villages were dispatched to assassinate him. The Hokage. What is the problem, instructor? Asked Sarutobi, worried. Are there any enemies? What is the state of affairs? Introduced some other, seeing Senju Tobarama all of a sudden grow to be cautious. Sarutobi and the others exchanged glances. They scanned the Hokage's workplace, reassured via the presence of Anbu ninjas anywhere. After finding no signs of any intruder, Senju Tobarama changed into shocked. The reminder echoed in his thoughts another time, indicating that it had become no longer a Jinjutsu and that there were no chakra fluctuations. Knowing that he needed to investigate similarly, Tobarama resolved to go into the chat group space and find out what turned into going on. With the Flying Thunder God technique at his disposal, he felt confident that there would be no hassle. Count. Number me in, he declared, deciding on to participate and becoming a member of the chat institution. In the meantime, inside the Hokage building, Tsunade confronted Naruto's inquiry about letting a person pass. After a moment of silence, she answered, yes. Naruto puzzled her selection, asking why she allowed Jiraiya to task into a risky region on my own. He emphasized that Tsunade must be properly privy to Jiraiya's man or woman, referring to him as pervy sage. In reaction, Kakashi intervened and attempted to provide an explanation for Naruto. Naruto, you don't recognize the fifth Hokage's emotions. Naruto fell silent for a second upon hearing Kakashi's words. Then he became and left the room. Before leaving, he checked out Tsunade and made a commentary. If Pervy Sage became the fifth Hokage, he might in no way allow you to visit this type of risky area on my own. With that, Naruto left the Hokage constructing, leaving all of us in the workplace in a kingdom of silence. Tsunade remained alone in her workplace, losing her facade and revealing her genuine emotions. In her empty workplace, Tsunade immersed herself in her thoughts until a mechanical reminder echoed in her thoughts. Ding! You have joined the Konoha Hokage chat group. Group owner Ryan has called for a round-table meeting. Please attend on time. Amazed by using the unexpected voice in her head, Tsunade glanced round, noticing no motion or chakra fluctuations. This showed that the voice had indeed originated in her thoughts. Konoha Hokage chat group? Tsunade pondered deeply, taking into consideration the contemporary state of the ninja global, which become getting ready to disaster, based totally on the statistics she had acquired from Jiraiya. Pain's next goal would be the closing tail beasts, leaving her feeling helpless. With these thoughts, Tsunade determined no longer to hesitate any longer. Depend me in, she explained, selecting to participate. Right away, a burst of colorful mild enveloped her, and while she opened her eyes, she discovered herself inside the chat institution area. Meanwhile, Ryan, sitting at the top of the spherical desk, discovered the colorful light curtain that appeared after the summoning assertion. 3 figures emerged one after some other from the curtain. The first became a man with lengthy hair sporting an informal kimono. Hi! What a paranormal region! Exclaimed the man. It looks like my injuries are not worsening. The person turned out to be Senju Hashirama, who grew an increasing number of curious as he found his environment and sensed the modifications in his body. At that moment, Senju Hashirama observed Ryan and, without anticipating him to invite, some other discern emerged from in the back of. The newcomer wore a suit of climate-overwhelmed blue conflict armor, radiating an air of secrecy of sharpness. Tobarama, eager to discover what turned into happening in this chat institution, turned into stunned while he noticed the resurrected Senju Hashirama earlier than him. Huh? Brother? Tobarama exclaimed, bowled over by the sight of his deceased brother's status earlier than him, completely alive, and not an end result of the impure world reincarnation. "Hi there, Tobarama." Hashirama spoke back with wonder. "I failed to count on you to be right here too. I thought I used to be the simplest one who heard it." Before the two could absolutely communicate, a voice came from behind them, exclaiming, "Grandpa? And the second one, Grandpa?" Tsunade originally came right here to discover a way to protect Konoha through the Konoha Hokage chat institution. It turned into like hoping that each one could be well. However, she decided to take part anyway. As quickly as Tsunade entered, she was stunned to find the deceased elder grandpa and 2D grandpa status in the front of her, in disbelief. Tsunade exclaimed, "Grandpa? And 2D grandpa?" Listening to Tsunade's voice, Hashirama and Tobarama, the two grandpas, grew to become to look at the back of them. Seeing Tsunade walking out of the light curtain, they couldn't assist however be amazed. Tobarama diagnosed Tsunade immediately. Whilst Hashirama cautiously studied her, mainly whilst Hashirama observed the jacket with the word "playing" written on it, it prompted memories of someone hooked on playing. Immediately, a discern addicted to gambling appeared in Hashirama's thoughts. "Huh? Are you Tsuna?" Hashirama exclaimed, surprising Tsunade. In the meantime, Tobarama looked at the Hokage hat on Tsunade's head all over again, his face pensive. Simply because the three of them have been shocked by means of their sudden reunion, a voice broke the silence. "Ahem, now that we're all right here, the three Hokages have to take their seats first." This is the Konoha Hokage chat institution. We're all family. Please have a seat and let's chat. Ryan, the fourth Hokage, spoke, smiling and motioning for them to take a seat. Careworn, Tobarama requested, Who are you?" Ryan quick turned round, revealing the fourth Hokage's royal gown. "I am the fourth Hokage, Ryan." Seeing the Hokage gown on Ryan's body, Tobarama nodded in recognition, while Hashirama remained at a loss for words. However, those doubts could be addressed later. Simply as the two were about to take a seat down, Tsunade, suspicious of Ryan, stared at him carefully from the side. "No, the fourth Hokage was Namake's Minato." Tsunade wondered. In reaction, Ryan smiled indifferently. "The arena we stay in is separate. The Konoha Hokage chat group pulls us, who have turned out to be Hokage in those separate worlds, into this chat organization. As for me, within the authentic global, the records is the same as what you realize of the fifth Hokage. But the international I live in is like a parallel global. In this international, I efficiently overthrew the 33 Hokage's rule and became Hokage in advance of time in place of Namake's Minato." Ryan defined. A few of the three Hokages, Tobarama turned into the quickest to simply accept the reason. In particular, after seeing Hashirama alive, Tobarama understood the idea of parallel worlds. In any case, he studied an advanced time area ninjutsu or even forbidden jutsu to deliver again people from the pure world. However, Hashirama, in the front of him, become alive, not reanimated. "So it's it, because you are the fourth Hokage, Ryan. What about you, Tsunade?" Tobarama inquired. Tsunade realized the situation and replied, "Fifth Hokage, fifth Hokage?" Tobarama repeated. Tsunade had ended up the fifth Hokage. Tobarama fell into deep thought. Information that something massive should have took place to Konoha in the course of this era. Finally catching up with the records, a worried Hashirama requested, "Is Konoha Village all right now?" He couldn't believe the kingdom of Konoha Village with Tsunade as Hokage. Thinking about Tsunade's gambling dependency and the jacket with "playing" written on it, Hashirama's coronary heart sank. He feared that Konoha had fallen sufferer to Tsunade's gambling dispositions. Going through Hashirama's query, Tsunade pondered for a second and answered, "The whole lot is satisfactory." This response brought some alleviation to Hashirama. As long as Tsunade didn't area bets on Konoha itself, he felt somewhat reassured. With the three Hokages seated, the meeting officially began. Tobirama became to Ryan and requested, "Fourth Hokage, as the institution leader, can you inform us what this chat institution does? What blessings does it deliver?" Ryan contemplated for a second earlier than answering. At this stage, the chat group's functions have not been fully unlocked. We Handias keep conferences each 3 months. Presently, you may best alternate information right here. There may be no manner to do something else apart from chatting. However, when the wide variety of humans inside the chat organization reaches 5, the arena ranking feature could be activated. The chat group will rank our respective worlds, and rewards may be given in step with the ratings. As for the unique advantages, I do not know yet. The 3 Senju confirmed considerate expressions upon listening to Ryan's explanation. They now had a preliminary knowledge of the chat group's motive. The exact ratings and rewards would handiest be acknowledged whilst the 5th man or woman joined. Even as they had been contemplating, Ryan shared every other vast piece of information. While the range of people within the chat organization reaches 5, the chat group will even free up any other feature. Move international mutual aid. If any of your worlds face a main crisis that can't be resolved, you can ask for help inside the chat institution. All of the Hokages will work collectively to resolve it. The faces of the other 3 Hokages instantly confirmed shock upon listening to this news. They hadn't predicted the chat group to have such an ability. Tsunade, especially, displayed giant joy on her face. She had been involved approximately how to address Pain's invasion. However, now she realized that if her grandpa may want to come to help, there was no need to worry. This characteristic by myself introduced exceptional delight to the 3 Hokage. Tsunade, filled with comfort, requested Ryan anxiously, "Fourth Hokage, whilst can we add the 5th individual?" It's a count of Konoha's protection. Hashirama and Tobirama checked out Ryan curiously, questioning what crisis Konoha had confronted in Tsunade's international that had her so nerve-wracking. As worrying grandfathers, they were geared up to help when the characteristic was activated. "Well, we should wait till the subsequent meeting," Ryan replied, addressing Tsunade's problem. "In 3 months? Upon listening to the data, Tsunade nodded barely, realizing that she must watch for 3 months and wished that Ache would not pose a chance at some point of that time. Jiraiya had simply sent again statistics indicating that Ache wouldn't try to seize the 9 tails in this type of quick length, so there was nevertheless time. Because the weight of the scenario sank in, Hashirama checked out Tsunade with curiosity. He remarked, "Tsuna, I never expected you to become the 5th Hokage. Ha ha ha! How is the Senju clan doing?" Tsunade, nonetheless lost in thoughts about the way to survive the following 3 months, iced up whilst she heard her grandpa's question. Sadness crammed her face, indicating that something horrible had passed off inside the future concerning the Senju family. Observing Tsunade's reaction, Hashirama, in spite of his jovial personality, understood that something dire had befallen the Senju clan. Although Hashirama regularly displayed a light-hearted manner, he became now not oblivious to the darkness of the ninja global. As Tsunade remained silent, Hashirama sensed that the Senju clan would possibly have met a tragic fate. Glancing at Ryan, he couldn't help however question, "Fourth Hokage, is my Senju extended family okay?" Tobirama, status beside Hashirama, additionally looked at Ryan with anticipation. He couldn't fathom how the robust Senju extended family, which had been integrated into Konoha beneath his leadership, could have been wiped out. The clan's survival had been ensured via the status quo of an unmarried predominant lineage that resided inside the extended family's territory and infinite others who have been integrated into Konoha. Ryan, feeling the weight in their expectations, let out a sigh and nodded. "Senju extended family is not any extra." He told them about the present-day kingdom or loss of the Senju extended family to them, inflicting Tobirama to freeze in place. Because the top duration of the second Hokage's reign coincided with that of the Senju clan, Tobirama couldn't comprehend how the as soon as strong extended family should meet its demise. It's absolutely exterminated? Tobirama asked in disbelief, hoping for an extraordinary solution. He couldn't fathom how the massive Senju extended family had been completely eradicated. Curious about the details, Tobirama inquired further. What exactly happened? He had deliberate for the Senju clan's integration into Konoha and believed that their extermination changed into not possible. Ryan took a moment to acquire his thoughts earlier than responding. Within the 17th year of Konoha, the primary ninja international warfare broke out, and you perished in that conflict, Sarutobi Hiruzen. Your disciple succeeded as Hokage and became the third Hokage. Every other disciple, Shimura Danzo, had become the Hokage's assistant and established a separate Umbu referred to as the Root, a group of hidden Konoha shinobi operating inside the shadows. It turned into through the moves of these people that the Senju extended family met its end. The information hit Tobirama like a thunderbolt. As he stood frozen, his preliminary surprise converted into an icy fury. Hashirama, too, wore a darkish expression upon listening to the revelation. For the two elderly Hokages, the demise of their grandson, Nawaki, on the battlefield was not in difficulty they might contest, however. The revelation that Nawaki had been manipulated and brutally killed by using their very own college students dispatched them right into a deeper rage. Their anger welled up, producing an intimidating air of secrecy inside the chat area. Rattling it! How dare they! Hashirama's voice resonated with fury. Looking at their furious reactions, Ryan produced the proof he had amassed from his very own global. Looking ahead to the possibility of encountering other Hokages, he had prepared beforehand, accumulating proof of the moves dedicated by the 33 Hokage and Danzo towards the Senju and Uzumaki clans. Acquiring such evidence had no longer been a clean task. Offering the proof, Ryan solidified Tsunade's perception in his words, inflicting her to strike the desk in the front of her in anger. After the cease of the Second One Ninja International War, Tsunade noticed discrepancies and performed her own research. But the truth she found became too overwhelming for her to confront her teacher. Consequently, she selected to break out Konoha instead of face the cruel reality of the Senju clan's demise. Nonetheless, the proof earlier than her now reignited her rage. Hashirama and Tobirama, witnessing Tsunade's reaction, acknowledged the validity of Ryan's claims. The evidence solidified their understanding of the truth. Ryan in addition explained, the ones two Hokage and Hokage assistant duo were in reality capable of anything. So long as anybody came close to energy, they'll be removed. Even though it's the Senju clan, it will now not be spared. No longer simplest did they wipe out the Senju clan, but additionally they eliminated the Uchiha clan. Hashirama, listening carefully, frowned even greater. Even though Tobirama held a terrible view of the Uchiha clan, Hashirama had by no means supposed to exterminate them in any respect. Tobirama's apprehension stemmed from his worry of any other Madara emerging. Consequently, he sought to guide and manipulate the Uchiha's power. In reality, he had nurtured individuals like Uchiha Kagami, who was inclined to go beyond the limitations of the extended family and dedicate themselves to the village. To their surprise, Ryan smiled and pointed to his function, mentioning, due to the fact I was selected as the group leader of the chat organization, I have get admission to Tefacts past my time because the fourth Hokage. So, I recognize not handiest the past, however additionally the activities that occurred after the fifth Hokage. Tsunade failed to say whatever extra after listening to that. First Hokage Hashirama and second Hokage Tobirama on the aspect additionally recovered from the surprise. However, at this second Hokage's face was full of bitterness. Who might have idea that the person selected by using himself would bloodbath the Senju family in the future? I picked such disciples. I can nonetheless apprehend them touching the Uchiha extended family. After all, the evil electricity of Sharingan, it's miles comprehensible to be cautious of such forces. Following my teachings, after these two got here to energy, they even dare to wipe out the Senju extended family. I am afraid that slowing down will alert both. Whilst we pass again, we ought to no longer let these goods seem at the ninja world level. Simply kill each of them. Deliberating this, 2D Hokage Tobirama could not assist but smile. Yes. All of this has now not yet came about in my personal world. It's enough to kill those two precise bastards. Most effective then did second Hokage Tobirama react. It turns out that this is the real purpose of the chat institution. You could absolutely change records. Tobirama, who opened new world for the other Hokage, stayed silent for a while and expressed his thoughts. Listening to the mind of the second one Hokage, Hashirama and Tsunade on the side couldn't assist, however, examine every different. The two of them had been even more stunned at this moment. Even Ryan known as it tremendous intuition. It can best be stated that it is worth of the second Hokage. I haven't added it up, but the second Hokage has figured it out via himself. Searching at the second one Hokage with an unexpected change in his style, Ryan also hurriedly interrupted. Ahem, before that, I need to apprehend one thing. This is. What term are you all in the intervening time? Once they heard that, second Hokage Tobirama turned into nevertheless a bit enthusiastic about changing the destiny of the Senju-owned family, couldn't assist but positioned away the smile on his face. Then he opened his mouth and stated, inside the 17th 12 months of Konoha, the first ninja warfare is ready to cease. I'm going to sign an alliance contract with Hokage in 1 month. At that point, this ninja warfare will come to and cease. Speaking of which, second Hokage Tobirama breathed a sigh of comfort. In spite of everything, no person wishes battle now that the struggle is coming to and give up. The second Hokage has indeed relaxed plenty. Simply after the second Hokage finished talking, first Hokage Hashirama on the side additionally patted 2D Hokage on the shoulder with pride. However, Ryan and Tsunade on the side had bizarre faces now. Seeing this, second Hokage, who turned into nevertheless a little comfy, could not help, however, disturbing up. Then he cautiously requested the two of them. Could something terrible happen? Seeing this, Hashirama looked at the two worriedly. Seeing this, Ryan had no choice, however, to say, how do I positioned it? 1 month later, during the Alliance Assembly, Cloud Shinobi Village's Golden Horn and Silver Horn led the troops to riot, and then killed second Hokage, and destroyed the Alliance contract, which will cow the retreat of Konoha's new Hokage. You stayed behind to hold the fort. You died on this battle. After you died, the primary ninja international war was over. I died on the eve of the cease of the ninja struggle. If Tobirama failed to recognize what Sarutobi Hiruzen and the others did in destiny, he might nevertheless accept it. But now, I died after saving these swindlers. This isn't always something the second Hokage can take delivery of. No wonder the Senju extended family may be destroyed. It changed into due to the fact he became approximately to die. This induced Sarutobi Hiruzen and Shimura Danzo to turn out to be lawless after returning. No. I have to no longer let this show up. For a while, 2D Hokage sat on the seat with inexplicable lights flashing in his eyes, and not a single person knew what he turned into thinking about. Seeing this, Hashirama fast stated, I've been in Konoha for 10 years now. Nothing must take place proper? Hashirama is likewise pretty curious about what is ready to take place to him. I also want to pay attention what is going to occur subsequent to me. Dealing with Hashirama's curious baby gaze, Ryan could not assist and stated, Nothing passed off, but you may be long past in 2 years. But, although it is known that you died within the 12th year of Konoha, nobody is aware of exactly why you died. Understanding that I have years to live, Hashirama did not have any regrets. As an alternative, he smiled cheerfully. Is there still 2 years left? Ha ha. However, I'm able to nevertheless closing for 2 years, which isn't terrible. Presently, Hashirama has not anything to cover. He spoke approximately his frame. After preventing Uchiha Madara, my frame appears to have reached its restriction for some motive. The damage persevered to get worse. The body additionally started to weaken every day. Presently, the reactions of Ryan and the three of them have been quite similar, due to the fact there is lots of hypotheses about this rely, but maximum of the guesses are related to the war within the Valley of the Give Up. Now, the solution is the same. With the first Hokage and 2D Hokage, all is said and done. Each person's eyes fell on Tsunade. Presently, Tsunade also speedy adjusted his emotions and said, "It's the 63rd year of Konoha, and Jiraiya simply died in war. There may be an employer known as Akatsuki that is taking pictures tailed beasts, and now we are simplest brief of Cloud Shinobi's 8 tails and Konoha's 9 tails. It might not be long before that man named Pain will assault Konoha." Soon, Tsunade introduced the current scenario in Konoha. After hearing Tsunade's words, the first and second Hokages understood why Tsunade became so eager at the beginning. I did not expect that there could be this type of loopy organization committed to accumulating tailed beasts within the ninja world and destiny. However, now that they all are collected in this Hokage chat organization, there is not anything else to now not believe. Don't worry, Tsunade. Since there will be a Hokage chat organization, that means the whole thing may be modified. This is proper, 4th Hokage. Simply. When Tsunade turned into involved, first Hokage smiled and patted Tsunade on the pinnacle, then he smiled and checked out Ryan. Facing the eyes of the first Hokage, Ryan additionally must admire. As predicted of first Hokage, reputedly careless however sensible and empathetic, my coronary heart is like a mirror. Now the position of the chat institution is immediately named. Seeing this, Ryan smiled and said, "Of direction, in view that we can be pulled in through the Hokage chat institution. All and sundry must unite and help each other. Tsunade's trouble may be resolved after the next assembly in 3 months. When the 5th organization member joins, just activate the mutual assistance characteristic. However, the maximum crucial factor right now is you, 2nd Hokage." As Ryan said, all eyes again fell on 2D Hokage Tobirama. Due to the fact the chat meeting is held each 3 months, for the ones of you who are about to come across a chief crisis inside the subsequent 3 months, this is the maximum crucial issue to keep in mind. As Ryan stated, Hashirama and Tsunade, at the side, additionally nodded in unison. The 2nd Hokage had an existence and demise disaster after returning domestic. If Tobirama ought to trade his own records, that means the possibilities via the chat group are countless for anybody. But at the moment, Hashirama observed a factor. He looked towards Ryan with doubt in his eyes. 4th Hokage, if Tobirama nevertheless hasn't modified his destiny after returning, so what will show up? Faced with this problem, he determined to act. Tobirama and Tsunade had been also packed with interest. Their 2 worlds have currently passed through an exchange. Ryan contemplated for a second, after which said, "If you cannot alternate your future, allow us take the 2nd Hokage as an example. It'd have to be the same as the historic data. He died at some stage in the first ninja struggle. Inside the chat organization, a Hokage world could be lost." Talking of which, Hashirama and the others understood, inside the chat businesses, if you want to open extra functions, you'll want to drag in extra Hokage worlds. If Tobirama dies during the first ninja warfare after returning, then 2 more new Hokage must be delivered to the chat organization to permit new functions. Remembering this, all 4 couldn't help searching at every different. The maximum critical characteristic of the chat group should be to add more worlds to talk. However, will we have 10 Hokage? Approximately. This query, I do not know. Hashirama and the others unexpectedly widened their curious eyes. even Tsunade is not an exception. It is already the 5th Hokage. Odd to or not, it's that Konoha could be passed all the way down to the 10th Hokage later, in front of anyone's eyes. Ryan shook his head very evenly. No, as a ways as I'm conscious. At most, it has only reached the 7th Hokage, but in the middle, there might be a few episodes. Hokage 5 is what changed into fulfilled, and he was killed even quicker after that. Speaking of which, Ryan's eyes instantly locked onto 2nd Hokage Tobirama, so if 2nd Hokage goes returned, it's going to nevertheless die in the first Ninja International conflict. And if chat rooms can't upload a new Hokage world, the feature of the chat organization might also by no means be able to open the next feature. Hashirama and Tsunade heard this. Right now, he checked out Tobirama with a concerned expression on his face. This can be associated with the subsequent characteristic opening of the chat organization. Hashirama, it is so exciting to have such a magical vicinity. Make certain that everyone the capabilities are enabled. As for Tsunade, it's due to the fact Konoha in her own world is set to die. Use the comply with up features to be had within the chat organization. If there are 5 individuals. Tobirama, be cautious in your way back. Sure, 2nd Grandpa. Please take your own life because the pinnacle priority. Faced with the worry of his circle of relatives, Tobirama certainly understood what was greater essential. As the first Hokage of human beings with the spirit of exploration in the records of Konohagakure for all styles of forbidden ninjutsu. The 2nd Hokage being Orochimaru, Tobirama is more aware of the significance of chat organization than everybody else. The function of the connecting parallel worlds. Firstly, after hearing his comply with up records, understanding that I had died just to kill those idiot disciples. If I do not deliver these idiotic disciples with me when I go back, with the Flying Thunder God method, who can prevent him? However now, Tobirama changed his mind in an instantaneous. Don't worry, every person, I can no longer danger my existence this time. Each person nodded at listening to the phrases. What 2nd Hokage said next unexpectedly prompted anybody's faces to exchange considerably. Anybody? I plan to advocate after I go back, allow Sarutobi Hiruzen become the 1/3 Hokage. Without expecting Tobirama to complete, Tsunade quickly interjected. Really? 2 Indie Grandpa, you are confused. How can you making him a Hokage? However, Hashirama held out his hand to forestall Tsunade, who become about to mention something. Despite the fact that I do not know what Tobirama desires to do, he have to have plans. Then he signaled Tobirama to keep. Seeing this, 2D Hokage also stated, don't worry. Due to the fact the alliance ceremony in a month's time calls for the shadows of each events to be present, considering I'm now not going to be there, I need a person to signal for me. Let Sarutobi Hiruzen and Shimura Danzo cross while the time comes. He can be the shadow of Konoha, so he ought to pass. And the alliance right can also be signed. As for whether you can come returned alive, it relies upon the situation. Speaking of this, Tobirama stopped as well. Tsunade at the side fell silent for an immediate. She checked out his grandfather in surprise. Even Ryan become pretty surprised. It's far really worth bringing up that he changed into the Iron Fist type of Hokage. The 2nd Hokage in memory turned into the person who made Konoha expand rapidly, including Anbu, Ninja School, Konoha Guard, and so forth. Look now. I nonetheless underestimated this 2nd Hokage. If he hadn't died at some stage in the primary ninja warfare, I am afraid Konoha is even scarier than earlier then. After hearing about this plan, I used to be very impressed. Ryan could not help but nod in agreement. First-rate desire. Even Hashirama, who became the eldest brother, also is of the same opinion now. He surely desired his more youthful brother to stay. Seeing that everybody is of the same opinion together with his plan, Tobirama became also relieved. Besides, in history, the Hokage constantly dies. The dead zero, 33 Hokage can even die via the way. This plan can even do away with Sarutobi Hiruzen and Shimura Danzo collectively. He now not handy has changed his personal records. However, he additionally helped remedy those two idiots. Alright, now that the second Hokage problem has been resolved, do you got any additional remarks or mind to share? Otherwise, this assembly will come to and quit, and we're going to wait for the following 1 and 3 months. At that point, the arena leaderboard feature and cross-border mutual assistance function could be activated, Ryan stated. Sure, Hashirama. And the others looked at each different. He then shook his head. What you want to know? There are nonetheless 2 years left for Hashirama. At that time, there need to be a manner to deal with his frame in the chat organization, and Tobirama is making plans to begin his personal plan right away after returning. In the end, his time is the most precious. As for Tsunade, became looking forward to the 2 capabilities on the way to open after the second one meeting. Considering that the 3 of them are pleasant, Ryan decided to end the meeting himself, as the colorful glow instantly enveloped each person after Ryan slowly opened his eyes. He then discovered himself returned in his workplace. As he checked out the familiar format in front of me, Hashirama quickly sat up from the mattress. Am I returned? She requested. At that second, Hashirama noticed that Mito and Tobirama were additionally gifted. What is up, brother? What is going on? Hashirama inquired, startled. Hashirama looked up at the sky. Mito became already used to his worried nature. Tobirama, status beside them, felt a touch bewildered. What do you imply by coming back? Didn't I just go back? He wondered, and as soon as I came again, I went to see massive brother Hashirama. Confronted with Tobirama's doubts, Hashirama hastily waved his hand to indicate he had nothing greater to mention. But what Hashirama didn't expect become that, after chatting with them for goodbye, it became out that it had only been a blink of a watch. It was extraordinary. As I looked at the slightly immature Tobirama in front of me, I could not assist but reflect on consideration on the second one Hokage Tobirama whom I had seen in the chat group. They have been the equal character. Yet the Tobirama in front of me nonetheless had some years left earlier than he grew up. However, when I concept approximately the ultimate plan of second Hokage Tobirama, I couldn't assist however stare at Tobirama in front of me carefully. I did now not expect this kid to come up with one of these plans. As if he failed to care about his disciples at all. After a second of mirrored image, Hashirama unexpectedly laughed. That fits Tobirama's individual flawlessly. What he must do is not maintain again in any respect, much like within the conflict between the Senju clan and the Uchiha clan lengthy in the past. Senju Hashirama, who became the patriarch, performed with Uchiha Madara. However, his more youthful brother tried his high quality to kill Madara and Izuna back then. In case you don't kill the alternative birthday party, he will in no way surrender. Looking at my older brother in the front of me, I smirked for some time before speaking to myself. Tobirama couldn't help but examine Mito beside him. At this second, Hashirama felt a touch uncomfortable being stared at. With the aid of the 2, he unexpectedly requested Tobirama. What number of disciples have you ever taken in these days? What? Yes, big brother. Tobirama spoke back. Whilst Hashirama noted this subject matter, Tobirama all at once had become alert. You know too, brother, I have now familiar 3 disciples, Sarutobi Hiruzen, Shimura Danzo, and Uchiha Kagami, especially Kagami. Even though he belongs to the Uchiha clan, he has a heart for Konoha. He is an excellent youngster. Upon hearing Tobirama's phrases, Hashirama almost could not help but giggle. Of course, I recognize that you have conventional disciples. I additionally recognize that your 2 unlucky disciples wiped out each the Senju clan and the Uchiha clan. In this regard, Hashirama is also straightforward. Let Sarutobi Hiruzen and Shimura Danzo go back. Pay attention to those 2 families as nicely. Confronted with Hashirama's orders, Tobirama, Even though he failed to understand how the two families had indignant, his eldest brother did no longer hesitate to obey his words. Moreover, they were just two newly recruited disciples. Kick them out as soon as viable. They dared to offend massive brother. It seems that these two families need to be nicely monitored. Soon, Tobirama left the extended family house with Hashirama's orders. The two small families of the Sarutobi and Shimura clans were quickly suppressed by way of Tobirama. Neither of the families had any idea what occurred, except that they saw Sarutobi Hiruzen and Shimura Danzo being kicked out via Tobirama as college students. The patriarchs of the two families immediately have become angry. "Two little brats," one and all of them exclaimed. "What did you guys do? You made Tobirama-sama so angry. It is accomplished. It's finished. We're through. What?" Am I back? As I skimmed over the whole thing acquainted in the front of me, second Hokage Tobirama's eyes additionally widened. I didn't expect this chat organization to be so amazing. However, after I noticed some people within the workplace, especially the two status in the front, second Hokage Tobirama's face darkened immediately. "Hiruzen, why is the trainer all at once so angry?" he requested. "Why do I sense a touch flustered?" Searching at the black confronted 2D Hokage Tobirama, Danzo could not help but feel guilty. Now, Sarutobi Hiruzen changed into additionally harassed. "Why is the teacher all at once so angry?" Hiruzen whispered to Danzo beside him. Whilst the two have been communicating in hushed tones, Tobirama's expression right away again to his traditional calm. He checked out both of them evenly. "Subsequent, I can announce the orders," Tobirama stated. As Tobirama's voice dwindled, each person present right away had become somber, however. The phrases of second Hokage Tobirama modified the expressions on all people's faces. "Sarutobi Hiruzen has taken over the placement of Konoha's 1/3 Hokage," he declared. "Danzo will assist him because the Hokage's assistant." After the phrases had been spoken, Danzo reacted the maximum violently, immediately. He turned to second Hokage Tobirama in confusion and exclaimed, "What? Why is that this selection so surprising, trainer?" In response, second Hokage did now not offer any explanation. He certainly looked at Danzo quietly, as if he may want to see right through him. The latter fast found out the state of affairs and hurriedly backed down. Now, Sarutobi Hiruzen became additionally quite surprised. Suppressing the ecstasy in his heart, he straightway advanced and bowed down, pronouncing, "Thanks, teacher. I will no longer disappoint the teachers agree with." As I looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen, who regarded to be a devoted and satisfied man or woman, the second Hokage Tobirama desired to snicker. "In case you do not know your future goals, I'm able to without problems be fooled via this seemingly loyal guy now, however." "Nicely. Get ready. In a month, you and Danzo will lead the crew to the Alliance Right. I also officially announce you as the 1/3 Hokage to the entire Ninja International." Listening to the orders of the second one Hokage, Sarutobi Hiruzen quick agreed. For a moment, he seemed to be in excessive spirits. Searching at Sarutobi Hiruzen, who could not disguise the smile on his face, Danzo stood within the room, his face full of jealousy. "Damn you, Sarutobi Hiruzen! Why are you the Hokage? I'm not horrific both." "Teacher, you are not honest. Why did you select Hiruzen all at once?" For some time, my stomach felt disillusioned, but now the deal became executed, so there was no point in announcing greater. I should handiest watch helplessly as Sarutobi Hiruzen assumed the position of 1/3 Hokage, in Tsunade's world as the 5th Hokage, within the Hokage building. I looked at the entirety acquainted in front of me. If it weren't for the vividness of everything that had simply passed off, I'd have idea it turned into a dream. "Wow, that is exceptional!" I exclaimed. "Just wait until the second meeting begins in 3 months. Then, the present-day dilemma may be resolved." Tsunade, who had determined an answer, felt better, however. Once I saw the data that Jiraiya had sacrificed his life for on the table, my emotions plummeted. Oh, if it had come earlier, possibly Jiraiya might nevertheless be alive. Finish.